What's up guys? I'm Japanese. This is quite sudden, but do you guys know where heaven is? It is up in the sky? It is where God is? No, it's not. The anime I'm going to introduce today is Heaven, at rest for an individual. I'm convinced that this anime is Heaven. Now, may I introduce Rock Forest? If I were to briefly explain this anime, it's about a girl with special power and protecting the world from monsters that are the enemy of humanity. Is that all you've heard? You might be thinking, what a common story. But you are wrong. That's not what's important in this anime. Important part of this work. It's just that the only girl with special power are under the age of 10 at the time of the story. Of course, the protagonists are not the only ones fighting monsters. They are all fighting with girls under the age of 10. In other words, half of the characters are loli. A lot of loli will appear. Loli revolution. This alone should give you an idea of how wonderful this work is. By the way, what do you think is the most important thing in enjoying a story? It is about empathy. So, do you understand the meaning of empathy correctly? This is how it is described in Japanese dictionaries. Empathy is the act of projecting one's own emotions onto another person or a work of art, and experiencing those emotions as belonging to the object. Do you know what this indicates? If you have a good intuition, you probably already noticed this. What this indicates is that the man in this image is not the protagonist, it is you. The man in this image is you. The man in this image is also you. Now, you know what I mean when I think of this anime as heaven or paradise. Naturally, that's not the only good thing about this anime. Don't think of it as just a cute loli anime. The strong bond between Rentaro and Enju, the intense fight scene, and the girl moving hard despite their scars, and co-sleeping with Flory. Then the enemy becomes a friend and they fight together, and the courtship from Lori. The story is also filling of tension and makes you curious about what happens next. I wonder what will happen after this. Will the protagonist be caught by the FBI? It's such a thrilling feeling. Let me introduce you the character. There are a bit too many people to introduce, but bear with me. This is the main introduced for today. Let's start with the protagonist, Satomi Rentaro. He is a man who condemns corrupt adult head-on and offers a helping hand to Lori. He is the perfect protagonist for this story. It's only natural that he would create a harem of Loris. Tendo Kisara. She is the president of the company of which Rentaro belongs. It's a big boost position, but that's not important in this anime. Her presence makes Lori stand out from the rest, but I think her sweet skirt is a good one. Next, Aihara Enju. She's very active and cheerful, and just being with her cheers me up. She's like the sun. The fact that her hairstyle is twin tails also adds to her appeal. In front of the moving twin tails, we will be like a cat in front of the cat toy. To begin with, twin tails are a hairstyle that, as we all know, there is no man in the world who doesn't like. However, it is a hairstyle that becomes less and less attractive as one gets older. I want you to imagine a 30-year-old twin tails. I'm sure you're thinking, what kind of punishment is this? In this respect, Enju's age of 10 is a perfect match. It's no exaggeration to say that is the golden ratio. Take a look at this scene. This is a scene where Rentaro is crying and hugging Enju. What did you think when you saw this? Naturally, I'm not trying to say something silly like what the FBI is. Perhaps many of us realize the true meaning of the scene where we saw it. This scene of Enju embracing Rentaro and gently wrapping him in her arms. This indicates that even though she's 10 years old, she's already aware of being a mommy. Mommy Enju. It is possible for a girl of only 10 years old to exude this kind of receptive power. She wraps you warmly with her kindness and compassion. No one would look at this and say something stupid like she's not my mommy. I want this girl to pat me on the head and tell me that There. Everything's very okay. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks this, right? Some of you may not understand what I'm saying because of my weird English pronunciation. I do my best to convey the meaning correctly to everyone. Next, Tina Sprout. If I had to describe her in one word, it would be kawaii. She's kawaii when she looks sleepy, kawaii when her clothes are peeling off, and kawaii when she's trying to get him to take responsibility for her. It's no exaggeration to say that kawaii materialized and walked around with clothes on. But she's kawaii with the clothes off. The cuteness melted my brain and all I could say was kawaii. Of course, she's not just a kawaii. Unlike her usual obedient and good child, when it comes to fighting, she's more beautiful and stronger than everyone else. I was mesmerized by the way she was fighting. With these piercing eyes, I want her to say to me, "You can't beat me with your 3-inch gun barrel. It doesn't have enough range." So hot. She's so beautiful when she's fighting. Why is that? The reason is that despite her strong eyes, I sense a sudden fragility in her. She doesn't really want to hurt anyone, but she has to fight. That contradiction in her mind could destroy her own. She's the one that we have to protect. That's not her only charm. Even the clothes she wears tickle my mind. A dress with a floating frill. The color is bright green like an emerald, with this her blonde hair. The shoulders and underarms were exposed as if they are templars. And the fact that there were 3 shoulder straps was more sexual than the fact that there was only one. If you go to a fashion show, you are sure to attract the attention of all the men. Now, I want you to see my favorite scene about Tina. It's full of her charm. What did you think when you saw this scene? What emotion came overflowing to you? There is no need for me to tell you anything about this scene. But don't forget, empathy theory. Rentaro is you, and you are Rentaro. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's no problem, right? Next, Katagiri Yuzuki. She is characterized by her full mouth. She's kind enough to often call me pervert. After all, we need at least one girl with a fat mouth, don't you? Even if all the girls are full mouths, that's fine by me. Her punk outfit also suits her personality and is very nice. I also love her sassy eyes. Next, Hussein Midori. She's a very shy girl and she has cat ears. I forgot to mention that all children with special powers have an animal factor. Normally, it doesn't show in her appearance, but she's special and her ears are cat. She has the cat factor. Some of you may have already been right birth moment by this. Do you have a cat? If you have a cat, I want you to sniff it. What did it smell like? It will smell good. What you are smelling now is not the smell of a cat. You are smelling the scent of this girl. I want you to understand that smelling a cat is the same as smelling Hussein Midori. Unfortunately, I don't have a cat, so it would be great if you could comment on what this smells like. I imagine it smells sweet, probably like milk. Next, take a look at this scene for a moment. Here, look at this. I think the layout of this one scene is perfect. You can see the pink cross below the knees, which is perfectly positioned. This cross should not be lowered to the very bottom. If it does, it will look neither elegant nor tasteful. Actually, research has shown that this position of the knee is the most exciting position for humans. There is one more thing about her this is worth noting. Do you know where it is? That's what we Japanese call that pose, the Tairyo-iki. The literal translation into English is transcendental area. The Tairyo-iki refers to the area of bare skin in the gap between over-knee socks and the miniskirt. It's a common word in Japan. Moreover, Midori's the Tairyo-iki is not the normal the Tairyo-iki. By down where the strength in a braided fashion, the range of exposure is narrowed. In this way, the Tairyo-iki, which has a high sexual effective gaze, becomes even more sexual effective. Her potential is immeasurable. Yes. Last, Her name is Hiroko Kohina. The man's name is Kagetane. This man is a pervert who makes his partner Kohina call him Papa. Even if it was his own daughter, it was not an acceptable act. In addition, he seems to have a thing for Rentaro. What a Barbie bastard! Kohina is a little crazy girl. However, in Japan there is a word for this. Kawaii is justice. As long as it's kawaii, the other elements don't matter. Her lovely round eyes are so adorable. Her blue fluffy short hair and the deeper blue dress made her look more charming. In the first place, the color blue suppresses excitement and calms the mind. Many of you may have been excited by her cuteness, but her best ocean light blue color keeps us rational. It was a close call. In my personal opinion, her underwear would be dollars, I think. I would definitely make her wear dollars. Okay, that is for the introduction of the characters. Let's talk about Japanese and English dubbed. The Japanese voice actor for Black Ballad and such a big name that some people will watch it just to hear their names. So, is English dubbed not good? No, not at all. Tina's voice was perfect for her image of fragility. And Kohina's voice was so cute that I nearly burst into bubble and collapse. In fact, both are more than enough to melt my ear and brain. If you like this anime, you should watch both of them. Finally, I will announce the score of this anime. But before that is something I have to tell you guys. I said that this anime is heaven. But heaven and hell are two sides of the same coin. The stronger the light, the darker and deeper the darkness. You may end up burning yourself with anger by watching this anime. Don't get too absorbed in those girls. This is not a matter of love, but of their heart. What you should be doing right now is not subscribe to my channel, or hitting the good button, or sniffing your cat. It's about having a strong mind. If you are gonna watch this anime, you need to be prepared yourself. Only those who are prepared to do so should go on. I warn you. I pray that you will not fall out of the sky by getting too close to the sun like Icarus. Now I will announce the score of Black Ballad. First, here is the score from the Japanese evaluation site. The score for the Japanese site is 84.1. Some people say that they were captivated by the girl and want to watch the second season, but that's the story unfolded too fast. Next, let's take a look at this foreign site. 10 seems to be the perfect score. Score from foreign site is 7.15. The evaluation is quite different from that of Japan. In the same way, there are opinions that the story unfolded too fast and the Kisara's scene in the last episode is not good. Okay, finally, here's my personal evaluation. First of all, the cuteness of the character in this anime is at the level where I would say it's a perfect. I enjoyed watching this and the story so much that I was anxious to continue. My personal score is 88. I would like to personality score this work highly. I was very shocked at the last scene of the conversation with Andrew. I would go so far to say that scene is what this anime is all about. I urge you to check it out for yourself. Okay, that was my introduction to Black Ballad. If you watch this anime, please write your thoughts in the comment. If you find it helpful, please click the subscribe button below to subscribe to my channel. I will continue to introduce various anime in the future. I hope you all enjoy the anime as much as I do. See you around!